In the far future, humanity had crossed many stars and built new homes on distant planets. One of these planets was Aurelia, a world full of bright crystal fields and rivers that glowed softly at night. On this planet lived a new kind of life form known as the Luminari. They were not made of flesh and bone like humans. Instead, they were beings of light and energy, moving like soft flames floating in the air. They could change their shapes, flow like ribbons of light, and communicate through warm emotional waves that others could feel. Humans and Luminari had lived as neighbors for only a few years, and although peace existed, it was a fragile peace. Both sides feared that one misunderstanding could break everything. So, a strict rule was made by both governments. No emotional bond shall form between humans and Luminari. Their emotions may merge and cause dangerous energy resonance. No one truly understood what that meant, but everyone respected it. No one dared to test it. Among the humans living on Aurelia was Ilara Voss, a young diplomat in training. She had come from Earth to learn about peaceful communication between species. She was calm, curious, and always tried to understand others deeply. She had soft brown hair, steady eyes, and a gentle way of speaking that made others comfortable. Ilara was fascinated by the Luminari ever since she saw them for the first time. Their glowing forms were beautiful, like living starlight. But she respected the rules. She always kept a polite distance. On the Luminari side, there was Kael'ren, one of the Guardians. Guardians were protectors and guides who helped maintain understanding between species. Kael'ren was calm and thoughtful. His light glowed softly with shades of blue and white like moonlight dancing on water. He spoke not with words, but with feelings, sending gentle emotional waves that others could sense in their hearts. Most humans found this way of communication difficult. But Ilara, for some reason, understood it easily. She never forced it. She never tried. It just felt natural. One quiet afternoon, Ilara stood in the main hall of the Aurelia Peace Embassy. The building was made of smooth silver stone that reflected the glowing trees outside. She was reviewing cultural guidelines for an upcoming meeting when she heard soft waves of radiant light approaching. She looked up and saw Kael'ren gliding through the hall, his form shimmering peacefully. They had met before, but only formally. Kael'ren sensed Ilara before she spoke. A soft pulse of welcome and politeness flowed from him. A greeting. Ilara smiled gently. "Hello, Kael'ren. You are early for today's meeting." Kael'ren's light pulsed warmly. In Ilara's mind, she felt the response. Peace begins in quiet moments. She admired how the Luminari communicated without sound. It felt honest, pure. But then something happened, something she did not mean to do. A memory flashed in Ilara's heart, a childhood memory. She had lost someone important long ago, someone she still missed. She had never spoken about it, not even to her closest friends. But at that moment, her emotions were not guarded. They flowed outward. Kael'ren felt it. The Luminari did not usually experience memories, but they felt the shapes of emotions. He felt Ilara's sadness, but not as a heavy, painful thing. He felt it as something warm, real, and deeply human, something that showed care, love, and connection. Kael'ren's glowing form flickered in surprise. This was not allowed. This was how emotional bonds began. This was the thing that the treaty forbade. Ilara realized too late what had happened. She stepped back, frightened and embarrassed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to share that. Please forgive me." Kael'ren slowly brightened again, showing there was no anger. Instead, she felt calm reassurance, like a soft hand placed gently on the heart. "Your emotions are not dangerous," his presence conveyed gently. "They are beautiful." Ilara blinked, surprised. No one had ever said that before. But then they both remembered. The treaty, the rule, the danger. If anyone found out, both of them would be questioned, maybe even separated permanently. Ilara lowered her eyes. "We should keep distance," she said softly. Kael'ren's light dimmed a little, a sign of quiet sorrow. "Yes," his presence agreed. And so, they stepped apart. But something had changed. They could now feel each other faintly, even when not together. A soft emotional thread had formed, gentle, warm, and impossible to ignore. Days passed. Ilara tried to stay busy with work, studying cultural laws, preparing negotiations, helping arrange peaceful dialogues. But sometimes when she closed her eyes, she felt a soft warmth in her chest, a glow like a star inside her, and she knew it was Caileron's gentle presence. Caileron, too, tried to continue his duties. He guided young Luminari, attended council meetings, and helped shape peaceful policies. But sometimes he felt a quiet human sadness, or a gentle spark of human hope. And he knew it was Ilara's heart calling softly to his. They were not speaking. They were not meeting. Yet they were no longer strangers. They were connected. One evening there was a reception in the embassy garden. Humans and Luminari gathered to celebrate the anniversary of the peace treaty. Lights floated in the air, music played softly, and crystal flowers glowed among the trees. Ilara stood among the crowd, trying to appear relaxed. Then she felt it, that warm presence. Caileron was there. She did not turn to look. He did not move closer, but she knew. They stayed separated by several meters, both aware of the rule, both pretending to be calm, yet their hearts trembled like flames in the wind. Then, across the garden, a human officer noticed something. He narrowed his eyes. His name was Director Halden, a strict enforcer of protocol. He had always believed that emotional bonds between humans and Luminari were dangerous. He watched Ilara and Caileron with a suspicious gaze. Ilara felt fear rise inside her. Caileron sensed it. Instantly, not words, not gestures, just shared emotion, pure and honest. He sent calm reassurance to her heart. You are not alone. Ilara swallowed softly. Steadying herself, she whispered under her breath, barely audible, thank you. When the event ended, Ilara walked alone down a glowing crystal pathway. The night sky above Aurelia was filled with slow-moving ribbons of light instead of stars, the natural atmosphere of the planet. Caileron appeared ahead of her, not close but near enough to speak. Ilara, he conveyed gently, we cannot continue like this. The bond, it grows. Ilara nodded, feeling her heart ache. I know, but I don't want to lose it. It feels right. Caileron shone softly like quiet starlight. It is forbidden, he reminded. Ilara's voice trembled slightly. Yes, but is it wrong? Caileron did not answer immediately. The silence between them was full of emotion. Longing, warmth, fear, and something new. Something neither had words for. Finally, he sent a message soft as a whisper. Let us try to step away. If the bond remains, then it was meant to exist. Ilara nodded slowly. It was painful but also hopeful. They stepped apart again, physically. But inside, the flame continued to glow. Days passed on the bright world of Aurelia. The peace between humans and the Luminari continued, but beneath the surface, small tensions began to grow. Soft whispers, quiet suspicions, and silent doubts. The connection between Ilara and Caileron still existed, even though they tried not to meet. The emotional thread between them remained warm, like a soft flame that refused to die. Ilara tried to live life normally. She studied communication rules, attended meetings, and worked with other diplomats. But sometimes she would pause during her work, feeling a soft warmth inside her chest, gentle, familiar. That warmth was Caileron. He felt the same. Though they stayed apart, their hearts stayed close. One morning, Ilara sat at her desk in the embassy, reading formal reports about energy trade agreements between humans and Luminari. The reports were long, cold, and full of complicated terms. She tried to focus, but her thoughts kept drifting to quiet memories. Soft light, gentle warmth, understanding without words. She shook her head, trying to stay disciplined. Suddenly, an emergency message came from the Central Council building. All diplomats and guardians were called to attend a meeting. Something important had happened. Ilara quickly gathered her notes and made her way to the council chamber. Inside, the room was filled with both humans and Luminari. Their forms glowed, in the dim light, creating a calm but serious atmosphere. At the front stood Director Halden, the same human officer who had watched Ilara and Caileron during the reception. Halden spoke with a stern, cold voice. There have been strange energy fluctuations near the Harmony Tower, he said. Some groups believe the peace treaty is weakening. A few Luminari flickered with concern. Ilara watched Caileron enter quietly and take his place among the guardians. Their eyes did not meet, but their hearts felt each other's presence like a whisper. Halden continued, "We must investigate these fluctuations. Some believe emotional interference may be involved." Ilara felt her chest tighten. She could sense Kael'ren also felt a ripple of fear. Halden looked around the room slowly, his eyes sharp. "Let me be clear. If there are those who are forming emotional bonds across species lines, they risk the safety of everyone here." The room fell silent. No one spoke. The air was heavy, but Halden was not finished. A group of political leaders on Earth is already questioning the treaty. They believe humans should not live alongside such alien beings. They want a reason to break peace. If we show weakness, if we show emotional instability, they will demand separation. Ilara felt her heart sink. If this happened, humans and Luminari might be forced to live on different worlds again. Peace might break. Kael'ren felt her sadness immediately. His light flickered softly, trying to comfort her from across the room. She felt the warmth, but the moment she felt it, she also felt something else. Eyes watching her. She slowly turned. Director Halden was staring straight at her. Their eyes locked. He knew, or at least he suspected. Later that evening, Ilara walked alone through the glowing gardens outside the embassy. The crystal plants shimmered like stars growing from the ground. She tried to stay calm, but anxiety filled her mind. What would happen if their connection was discovered? Would she be removed from Aurelia? Would Kael'ren be forced into isolation? Would the treaty break? Her thoughts felt heavy, like cold rain. Then she felt it, soft, warm light. Kael'ren had approached, not close enough to touch, but close enough to feel. Ilara, his presence spoke gently through emotion. "You are afraid." Ilara breathed in slowly, steadying herself. "Yes, I am." Kael'ren's light softened, glowing like a quiet candle flame. "Our bond is strong. It grows even while we are apart." Ilara nodded. "I know. I don't understand how it formed so deeply." Kael'ren paused, then conveyed a thought like a warm breeze. "Perhaps this bond is not a mistake. Perhaps our hearts simply recognized each other." Ilara looked at him, eyes gentle and full of questions. "But the treaty, the rule..." Kael'ren's glow dimmed slightly. "Rules are made from fear, but understanding comes from trust." They stood silently, facing the soft glowing trees. No one disturbed them. The universe around them felt calm, as if holding its breath. Ilara spoke again, quietly. "If the peace is truly in danger, we cannot remain silent." Kael'ren agreed. "We must protect peace. But if we reveal our connection now, they will not listen." He was right. If they spoke now, the world would see only fear and accusation, not truth. So they made a decision, a brave one. They would work together, in secret. Not to protect their bond, but to protect the peace treaty itself. The next day, Ilara began investigating the energy fluctuations. She studied reports, examined maps, and traced communication logs between different diplomatic groups. She worked quietly, carefully, never drawing attention to herself. Meanwhile, Kael'ren investigated on the luminary side, speaking to energy healers and resonance scholars. The more they studied, the clearer the truth became. Someone was trying to break the peace treaty. Someone was secretly altering energy, readings near the Harmony Tower, making it seem like emotional resonance was destabilizing the environment, even though it was not. It was a deception, a trick. Someone wanted humans and Luminari to distrust each other again. But who? Ilara worked late into the night, staring at encrypted communication signals. Her eyes ached, and she felt tired, but she refused to stop. That was when she felt Kael'ren. Soft, warm, like a gentle star resting inside her chest. He was not speaking words, only offering strength, calmness, encouragement, and she smiled softly. Their bond did not weaken her. It made her stronger. Days passed. Together, they discovered something shocking. The sabotage was coming from both sides. A small group of humans, fearful of luminary power, and a small group of luminari, fearful of human emotion. Both sides were afraid of what they did not understand. Both wanted to break the treaty before the bond between the species could grow. Ilara and Kael'ren realized something important. Their bond was not the danger. Fear was. They needed to reveal the conspiracy, but to do that, they needed evidence. Proof strong enough to convince both governments. Late one evening, Ilara sat in the embassy archives, studying hidden message data. Her hands trembled slightly from exhaustion. She closed her eyes and breathed slowly. Kael'ren felt her tiredness and sent a soft wave of encouragement, like gentle light covering her shoulders. She whispered, "Thank you. I feel you." Their bond glowed softly, bright, warm, alive. But just as she felt comfort, footsteps approached. Ilara quickly sat upright, pretending to work normally. Director Halden walked into the room, his expression unreadable. He looked at the screens. He looked at the messages. He looked at Ilara. Then he spoke quietly. "Your heart is not where it used to be." Ilara froze. Halden stepped closer, not angry, but serious. "Be careful what flame you feed. Even the smallest spark can change everything." He walked away. Ilara sat still, breath shaking. He had not accused her, but he knew. The world was watching now. One wrong step, one wrong moment, and everything could collapse. That night, Ilara and Kael'ren met once more, hidden deep within the crystal groves where the air glowed softly like moonlight. Kael'ren sensed her fear and sadness. "We are nearing the truth," he conveyed gently. Ilara nodded weakly. "Yes, but the closer we get, the more dangerous it becomes." Kael'ren glowed with quiet resolve. "We cannot turn back. Peace is worth protecting." Ilara looked up at him, eyes bright with emotion. "You're right," she said softly. "We'll finish this. Together." Their hearts resonated gently, warm, steady, alive. Slow, glowing waves of light filled the clearing. Not bright. Not overwhelming, just pure and peaceful. A bond not of desire, a bond not of rebellion, a bond of understanding. They knew now. Their connection was not a threat to peace. Their connection might be the key to saving it. The planet Aurelia was calm on the outside, but beneath that calmness, something unseen was growing. The conspiracy that Ilara and Kael'ren had discovered was slowly tightening its grip. Rumors were spreading among humans. Doubts were whispering among the luminari. Little by little, trust was fading. And yet, in the middle of this growing distance, the bond between Ilara and Kael'ren remained warm and steady, like a small flame refusing to burn out. They knew they needed to act soon. The peace treaty was in danger, and if it broke, the two species would once again drift apart into fear and loneliness. One evening, Ilara sat in the quiet of her room. The window looked out toward the Harmony Tower, a tall and graceful structure made of crystal and light. It pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. The tower was a symbol of the peace treaty. It was built by humans and luminari together, representing unity and trust. But now the tower was flickering. Its light was unstable. Many believed it was because of the emotional bond between the two species. They believed feelings were the danger. Ilara knew the truth. The instability was being caused by the saboteurs, those who feared unity, those who believed separation meant safety. She placed her hand on her chest and closed her eyes. Kael'ren felt her. His presence was gentle, warm, steady, as if he were sitting beside her, even though he was far away. "The moment is near," Kael'ren conveyed, his emotions forming quiet meaning. Ilara nodded even though he wasn't physically there. "Yes, we reveal everything tomorrow." Kael'ren glowed like quiet moonlight in her mind. "We must be brave." The next day, council assembly. The great council hall was filled. Humans sat on one side, luminari floated on the other. Suspicion filled the space like a low fog. Director Halden stood straight and stern. his eyes studying every movement. Kaelrin stood among the guardians, calm and radiant. Alara stood near the diplomats, her hands steady but her heart loud inside her chest. The council leader, a calm luminary elder named Serenir, began to speak. Her voice was soft but filled the hall completely. Peace has been shaken. Trust has weakened. Today we will bring clarity. Halden stepped forward next. We have reports of emotional resonance between our species. Such bonds may be the cause of the energy instability near the Harmony Tower. If true, the treaty may need to be changed or ended. The hall murmured in uneasy tones. Alara felt Kaelrin's presence become stronger. Waiting for her signal, she stepped forward. Before any decisions are made, she said, her voice clear and calm. You all need to know the truth. Every eye turned toward her. Some curious, some cold, some afraid, Alara continued. There is a group from both sides who are trying to break the treaty. They have been manipulating the energy readings near the Harmony Tower to make it look unstable. The hall fell silent. Kaelrin moved forward, his light steady and supportive. This instability is not natural. It is created. It is meant to cause fear. Serenir's light flickered in concern. You have evidence? Alara nodded. Yes, we do. She placed a small crystal device on the center display. A holographic projection rose into the air. Messages, data logs, secret transmissions, all showing coordinated sabotage from both human and Luminari extremists. The room filled with shock. Humans exchanged troubled glances. Luminari flickered with uneasy light. Director Halden's expression hardened. This cannot be ignored. But then his eyes shifted toward Alara and Kaelrin, steady and sharp. And what about the emotional resonance between you two? He asked. The hall went silent again. Alara's heart trembled, but she did not step back. Kaelrin glowed gently. Warm as sunrise, Alara spoke, her voice soft but strong. Yes, we share a bond. Soft gasps filled the room. But this bond did not weaken us. It did not break the peace. It helped us see clearly. It helped us uncover the truth. It helped us save the treaty. Kaelrin's light brightened, surrounding Alara with gentle warmth. Not touching, not overwhelming, only peaceful. Our connection is not chaos, Kaelrin conveyed to the entire hall. It is harmony. Some humans looked away, confused. Some luminary dimmed, unsure. Halden raised his voice. Emotional bonds are unpredictable. They can destabilize the energy resonance. How can you claim otherwise? Alara looked toward the Harmony Tower through the window, glowing weakly, because we tested it. Kaelrin stepped beside her, their distance respectful but their connection shining through the air like a soft thread of light. Our emotions did not create instability, Alara continued. They stabilized it. Kaelrin pulsed gently. Fear breaks worlds. Connection heals them. The demonstration to prove their words. The council agreed to a demonstration near the Harmony Tower. Leaders, diplomats, and guardians gathered around the crystal base of the tower. Its light flickered weakly, trembling like a candle in wind. The atmosphere was tense. Alara and Kaelrin stood side by side, silently asking for trust not through words, but through hope. Kaelrin looked at Alara with soft light. She looked back with steady courage. They allowed their emotions to open, not overwhelming, not uncontrolled, just honest. Warmth flowed from Alara's heart. Light flowed from Kaelrin's core. The two energies touched. Gently, like two hands meeting for the first time, the tower responded. The crystal's light brightened. Soft at first, then growing stronger, spreading upward like dawn rising. The flickering stopped. The trembling faded. The tower pulsed with steady, calm radiance. The hall of observers stood silent. The resonance was not destructive. It was harmonizing. The luminary leader Serenir glowed brighter, her tone filled with awe. Their bond does not break energy, it balances it. A human diplomat whispered, It is beautiful. And even Director Halden could not deny what he saw. A new understanding. The treaty was not broken. It was rewritten. No longer a law built from fear, but a bridge built from trust. Humans and Luminari were now allowed to form emotional bonds, not freely and carelessly, but with understanding and responsibility. Some still feared. Some still doubted. But seeds of peace need time to grow. Ilara and Kael'ren were appointed as the first Unity emissaries, representing the new bond between their species. Their purpose was not to show power, nor to prove love. Their role was simply this: to remind both worlds that connection does not have to be dangerous. It can be healing. It can be gentle. It can be beautiful. Final scene: one evening, they walked together in the crystal gardens where their bond first began to grow. The sky above Aurelia shimmered with glowing streams of light. Ilara stood quietly beside Kael'ren, not touching, not needing to. Their hearts were already together. She looked up at him and smiled softly. "Didn't choose this bond," she said. Kael'ren's gentle light shimmered. Warmly, "No," his presence answered with peace. "But we chose what to do with it." Their flame did not burn wildly. It did not consume. It simply glowed, warm, steady, enduring. Two souls, one connection. Not forbidden, but finally understood.